And I had 2 years after I left Alabama when I worked for ESPN. And for 7 months of the year, this view you see right behind me here was my view off my back porch down on the Gulf Coast. And when she called, everything changed because there were other opportunities for me that they just didn't get me very excited. And so when this one happened at NC State, everything changed because of the potential here to play for a national championship, which is my dream, which is what I want to do, and hopefully we can do it here, is to play for a national championship. And that's why we're here. So I even told Chris today, a lot of my buddies were like, because I play golf every day for about 7 months, and I'd sit on my back porch and drink beer and have a nice time, and they'd say, "You're doing what? You're going to go do what? And coach again? Why?" But this is a special place, and I really do believe that. So when I took this job, it was one thing in mind, and that was to try to put us in the best position we can to be the very best team we possibly can be.
I have a great opportunity in my life to be able to work with Wolfpack Sports Marketing and work for a school that I love. And part of that is I get to hang out with Coach at his coach's show. I get to do the radio show, TV show. And I remember it was around February, and you lost a couple games. Some things may not have been going the way you wanted. But you stopped me and you told me after a game, you said, "Mark, UConn last year was a 9 seed. Okay, they had to go through the Big East tournament. The New York Giants, they shouldn't have won the Super Bowl this past year. It's not whether or not we can make it. If we get there, we have a special team." What did you see throughout the year that gave you that idea?
Well, our team was one when we took the job back in April a year ago. Like every time you walk into a situation, there are growing pains, and we went through them with our players, and still do to some point. But we worked out with them last spring. I watched them work out, and I felt like there was something there. We just had to come together. We just had to get this group to get organized and really learn how they needed to play to have success. And so even though we had a tough stretch there late, we lost 4 in a row, I still believe that we were a team that could get in the tournament and win games in the tournament. I really did believe that. We played well enough at times. We only had a couple of really bad games. We had one at Carolina and one at Florida State at home, and we were really, I thought, bad. We didn't play very well. In the Florida State game at home, matter of fact, I thought we were going to win until Porciani got involved and screwed the whole game up. He didn't really know it, but just prior to that, I went to Carl Hess and whispered in his ear. I said, "Will you take those 2 guys right there?" No, but our team, it was a fun year, the way we finished. I think what's important for all of us and our players to understand right now is, we were a good team throughout the year. We weren't a great team. We were a good team. And we finished well. We finished really well. This is going to be a different year. We had 3 of our top 7 guys, 2 seniors, and then Deshaun Painter as a junior decided to transfer. So 3 key players out of our top 7 aren't with us. Now we have 3 incoming freshmen coming in. It's a lot different to be a freshman than be a 23-year-old senior, which we had last year. So this is a little different group for us this year. Now we've got to learn how to become a good team when you're expected to be good, which is a different environment for our team to be in every day. It means we have to work harder, better, smarter. Our guys have to understand that, and those are things that we have to learn. So it'll be a fun year coming up with all those things in mind, but the way we finished last year, I think, helps all of us get excited about the year.
Before we get to the recruiting class, I do want to talk about the way that you finished. Making it to the Sweet 16, it was an incredible run. Even the Kansas game, I remember how special that one was. But the Georgetown game, there are going to be games that we kind of look back on and say, "Man, I remember where I was. Remember seeing that game." What was your reaction? And I always want to know this: when Lorenzo Brown takes it baseline and he throws a sky jumper that goes in, what did you feel at that point?
Well, it's something that I had planned for him to go behind the back and shoot it over the backboard. Sometimes at the end of games, and all of us that have coached, it just comes down to some plays at the end of the game. And we made a couple big plays. And I remember the Georgetown game, C.J. Williams made a big three-pointer across from our bench. Scott Wood made a great shot as well. Had a couple great defensive possessions. And but our players believed, Mark, they believed that they were going to win that game. There was no question about it. And I truly believe that they felt in their heart they were going to beat Kansas. So really, our locker room before the game at halftime, we were leading at the half. We had a couple empty possessions late in the game at about the 5, 6, 7 mark that really hurt us. I thought we got behind. But our players were in a position, and their frame of mind was that we were going to beat Kansas. I think, and that hurt, that game, watching them go all the way to the championship game. So our guys, I thought, did a nice job.
How do you transition from the end of that game? Because coach has always told me when it's some difficult loss like that, and it's crazy to think that there's only one team who finishes the year on a win. Did you leave the locker room with guys feeling empty or hungry?
Well, that's a great question. I think it was both. I think there was certainly an empty feeling. You had the seniors in there that it was over. There's finality with those guys, and it hurts. You've got a group of guys that are coming back. Some of those guys like Richard and Lorenzo and Scott that understand that, hey, and C.J. Leslie, where we're not that far away. We can do some great things here, so there is part of that. And that has to carry over through this summer into the fall. And, the bar has been raised, and that was part of why I'm here. And not that I say that very humbly, that's why there's a coaching change, is to make a difference. And so we feel like we are in a different place right now, and we do need to take that next step with these returning players coming back.
And you also have some special players coming in that, once you commit, once you say that you're going to come, Tyler Lewis, Purvis, TJ Warren's incredible recruiting class. People have asked me a ton, man, how does the guy, well, what is it about him? Does he wear great clothes? Does he look good? He's a good looking guy. But when you got recruiting.
Those concussions.
Yeah. How excited are you to have those type of players coming into your program?
Well, we're excited, and Elliott is experiencing this year. Coaches that coach long enough, Debbie coached for a long time. Great players make a difference, especially when great players are in the right frame of mind. And we're excited about these 3 young guys that we have coming in. They are going to be young. And what happens nowadays in college basketball, because we watch Kentucky, we watch some of those young kids go in and make an impact like they did, is the expectation level begins to rise, sometimes very unfairly for a freshman. Some freshmen step onto a college campus and they hit it and they go. They catch on, they pick things up quick, and they're ready. Some guys take a little bit longer. And so those are things we're going to learn about. They really adapt to playing at this level and delivering at this level and playing with success, late game situations in the ACC at this level. That's a little different for a freshman, so we'll learn that as we go this year.
I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to ask Coach some questions. I'm going to throw one more at him, but just be thinking, we'll call on you, and I'll reiterate with the Coach. But Coach, in July, you get the opportunity to go to Spain. Now, there is this thing in college basketball that I believe, I've been looking at what happened with Duke last year, being able to take the young Austin Rivers over to Spain, but having young guys come in, being able to develop, being able to get with your guys in July, how will that affect your team maybe next year, and how special do you think that trip will be for your team?
Well, it will be great, and for any of you that want to come with us, we're going to Spain. It's actually August 5th to the 15th. We'll spend 5 days in Madrid and 5 days in the Canary Islands. When I go on trips, we pick some really tough places to go. But the great thing about a trip, you're allowed to go every 4 years. It's actually been a while since NC State has been on a trip with their basketball team, but we get 10 practices with our players. The freshmen are allowed to practice with us in July and then into August. So those young guys will get to be involved in practice situations, and game situations right off the bat, blending in with our newcomers. So it really gives us a head start into the fall. So we're excited about it. I think it's going to be something that can be really beneficial to our team. So if you want some information about it, get a hold of the Wolfpack Club or our athletic department. I think it's going to be a heck of a trip. So we'd love to have you come with us.
All right, there you go, Coach Godfrey. They do speak Spanish over there, I hear. On that. Just try it out.
Concussions over there.
My fault, my fault. Got questions for head coach Godfrey? They have two over there, and I want to. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. Now,
the incoming class, all McDonald's All-Americans, but the tallest is about 6'6". Is Vandenberg healed enough that he's going to be able to come in and take the place that Painter did in subbing for Richard and for C.J. Leslie?
all right, the question was about, the tallest guy you got coming in, I guess T.J. Ward at 6'6". The height requirements that are, I guess, for college basketball. Jordan Vandenberg, that's 7 foot tall, healthy enough to be able to come back. How do you look at that?
Well, first of all, usually every day I see Debbie Yao, and she normally asks me if we've got a 4-man on the way, if we've got a question. And usually wherever I go speak, there's a question, so I think she plants it into the crowd.
This great crowd right here.
Yeah.
So it's a great question. And Jordan redshirted this year. Jordan Vandenberg has a chance. Now, he's got a ways to go, be real honest. I like him. But physically, his body's got to change. Our strength coach got him all summer. He's going to have him every day. And he has to be a different person for us next year. With Deshaun leaving, Vandenberg needs to step up. Thomas Dete, the freshman we had last year from Belgium, needs to step up. And a lot of times, there's an opportunity there, and sometimes the cream rises to the top. And so we needed to. We're still recruiting a young guy right now that we've been involved with a long time that will fill some of that gap that you're asking about, but it's not done yet. And so as we sit here right now, we only have 9 scholarship players on the roster next year, only 9. And everybody has an opportunity to play, obviously, when you have those kind of numbers.
All right, another question. Yes, we have another one up there.
Coach, congratulations on your overall coaching job as a parent and sometimes athletic coach. The job you did with Calvin Leslie from last year to a month ago. Give us some insight on what you did and how he got to be who he is right now.
All right, great question. The question was about C.J. Leslie as he formerly was, and then he took off the Clark Kent outfit, turned into Calvin Leslie, and the transformation that young man went through. Coach, your insight on that?
Well, I'd like to say there was this great mastermind plan behind it, but there wasn't. I think with him, when I took the job, there was a lot of discussion about whether I was going to try to talk him into not leaving. This was a year ago. And I never had a discussion with him, not one. And I think what he wanted more than anything, although he would never say it, was he wanted somebody to be completely honest with him, truthful, where he is and how he needs to improve. He wants to be a good player. He really wants to be that. And so I think our approach with Calvin has been from day one is to be just that, completely honest, good and bad, every day. There were times, quite honestly, I threw him out of practice a few times, not trying to make a statement, just he wasn't mentally there. And he began to become better, and he grew up a little bit. He started to mature. We forget sometimes these are young guys. These are not professionals. These are young kids that are still maturing at different, everybody's a little bit different. And so I think with Calvin, more than anything, he began to really trust us and trust what we were saying to him. So he's got a ways to go yet, but I liked his progress too. He wants to win. He really wants to win. And I'm going to tell you something about Calvin that I've learned over the last couple months, and he went through this decision again, with this whole NBA thing, which I didn't talk to him much about it. very honestly. I talked to his mom a couple times and him, but he loves NC State. He really does. He really, really does. There was a moment, and I'll share this with all of you. You guys will hopefully enjoy this, but we had beaten Georgetown. We were coming off the floor, and our guys were really excited about beating Georgetown, going to the Sweet 16. And it was a moment they deserved to feel good about that. But I can remember, you know, I'm walking off kind of back to the tunnel there in Columbus, and he grabbed Debbie. He grabbed her, you know. I mean, it was a hug now, and it was emotional. And what it said though was, it was a kid he's growing up, but he loves, I believe this, he loves NC State. So we got him in a good place. We just need to keep improving and make sure he keeps developing.